Hi friends, welcome to my presentation. I am in front of you Triveni, studying 10th standard from TTWREIS Girls 𝗧𝗧. I am here to present my views on metals and non-metals. Before going to my topic, let us discuss a small story. Once upon a time, there lived a small family. Mother, father and two brothers. Brothers named Vijay and Arun. One day, they were studying in their room. Arun was so thirsty. He asked his mother to get some water for him. So, mother gave water to Arun. Vijay saw the bangles of his mother and said, "Mama, why your bangles are so shiny?" But here mother replied, "My bangles are made up of metals," means some gold and a little bit of copper. So they were shiny, and this shiny appearance is called as luster. Okay, so we can see so many things in our surroundings. Have you observed those things? If you observe, what do you notice? The things around us made up of different materials. Some of them were hard and some were soft in nature. Why it is happening? Due to the materials they consist. Let us see an example. Here I am taking a geometrical box. See, I am trying to break it, but I can't because it is hot. And now I am taking a piece of chalk and I am trying to break it. See how I broke it? So this chalk piece is broken easily, but the geometrical box is I can't because the geometrical box is hard and piece of chalk is very soft. So why this is happen? Because the materials they consist. Actually speaking, each and everything in the universe is made up of elements. And if I take a piece of chalk here, it is made up of calcium, carbon and oxygen. We may observe sulfur in our hair and also nails. Have you seen that while we are cutting onions, we get tears from our eyes? Why it happen? Due to the presence of sulfur in onion. So we get tears from our eyes. We, the human beings, a part of this nature, and our human body itself made of many elements. There were totally 118 elements, and these 118 elements were systematically arranged in periodic table. See, periodic table. Again, this periodic table has divided into blocks called S block, P block, D block and F block elements. The elements of S block, D block and F block were metals, and the elements of P block were metals, non-metals and metalloids. So now we are going to discuss about metals and non-metals. If we ask about metals, people quickly they get iron, zinc, aluminium, copper, gold, silver, etc. But what actually a word mean by metal? A material which is typically hard, shiny, malleable, ductile and a good conductor of electricity and heat, those materials are called as metals. So let us see some properties to identify a material as metal. Okay. The material which show brightness on its surface, those materials are called as lustrous materials. See here the materials which are here. See the spring, how lustrous it is. This shiny surface is called as luster, and this plate, see the brass, it is also shining. Spoon, this shiny surface is called as luster. So we can say the bowl, spoon, springs, bangles, here watch and jewelries, these are all the examples for luster. Okay, and next let us see another property called sonorous. Okay, the material which are able to produce a particular sound of a ringing bell or a deep sound, those materials are called as sonorous materials. So if have you ever seen why the wooden bells were not used in our school? Because wood is not sonorous. Actually, a boy was carrying geometrical box. Suddenly, he slipped and fell down. He noticed that the sound made by geometrical box when it hit by hard floor is similar to a deep ringing bell sound. So, the bells, we can see the bells in our school and also in temples. But what materials does they consist? In our school, the bell is made up of iron and the bell in temple is made up of alloys. Here is a bell which is used in temple. See, when we hit here, it may give the sound of a ringing bell. And also, not only the bells in temple, also the guitar strings, see, the guitar strings also give the sound. So, not only these, also here I am taking a spoon and when I hit a bowl, see how the bowl is giving this sound. If I take a plate, see how the plate is giving this sound. So, the material which produce sound when they hit by a hard surface, those materials are called as sonorous materials. Do you think all the tools are made up of metals? In earlier times, our ancestors used stone and wood to make their tools. After some times, they also used the bones of animals. Finally, they discovered metals like iron and copper. They finalized one thing, that is, the tools which are made up of iron and copper were much stronger than the tools made of stone and wood. So, those materials are called as the hardness of the materials. And metals have not just being hard, but they can be heated in fire or they can melt and they are cast into different shapes. So, that is, it is possible to make a wider range of materials in our daily life. So, shall we move on to the another property called malleability? The material, have you seen a silver foil which is used to decorate sweets? See, which is used to decorate sweets, or aluminium foil which is used to pack our food here. See, and this the silver foil is used to decorate sweets and the aluminium foil is used to pack our food. But how these were prepared? These are prepared in the process called malleability. The material which are a capability to being shaped or extended by hammering or forging the etc. Those materials are called as malleable materials. We can make the materials, we can heat the materials and make desirable objects without breaking. So, all metals can possess this property of malleability. Malleability, the material which can convert into thin sheets without breaking, those materials we can say as malleable materials. And next let us move on to the another property called ductility. How we transfer current from power stations to our house? We transfer our current from power station to here with the help of wires. But how the wires were prepared? These wires were prepared in the process called ductility. Ductility is nothing but a material which can convert into thin wires without breaking. Those materials are called as ductile materials. The ductile materials have the capability of being down out from metals into a wire. Okay, see here the copper which is a metal is in the solid, but next here the copper wires were prepared in the process of ductility. Okay, next let us move on to the another property called conductivity. Can you guess what is conductivity? A material which can produce or which has the property of powering or has the property to conduct electricity and heat. Those are called as conductivity of materials. And next, have you seen that electricians use screwdrivers? See, But what materials does this screwdriver consist? It consists of a plastic handle and metal to drive. Why don't they use metal handled screwdrivers? Because metal can conduct electricity. Let us prove the electrical conductivity with a activity. Okay. See here. First, connect the circuit with the help of connecting wires, bulb, battery and switch, and take some samples. Okay. Let us, I am now taking a sample spoon here and closing the circuit with the help of spoon. See, the bulb is glowing. Why the bulb is glowing? Here, the spoon is allowing electricity to make the bulb glow. Okay. So, the bulb is glowing. Let us take another one. It is a, see, and I am closing the circuit. See, the bulb is glowing. Why the bulb is glowing? Here, a bangle which is a silver is also making the, allowing the electricity to pass through it. And next, let us take a bell. Okay. See, again the bulb is glowing. Why the bulb is glowing here? The temple bell is also allowing the electricity to make the bulb glow. So, by this we can say that the material which allow the electricity to pass through it and make the bulb glow, those materials are the good conductors of electricity. All the metals are a good conductor of electricity. Okay. Have you seen that? The materials, the electrical appliances or utensils, it is made up of, the handles of these materials were made up of plastic. Why don't they are made up of metals? We know that here the electrical appliances can conduct electricity. What about utensils? Why they consist plastic handle here? Because metals are also conduct the heat. So, we use the plastic handles. So, shall we see that how the metals conduct heat? Let us take here a metal and stitch the pins with the help of wax. Okay. And next, apply the heat here. Okay. Let us apply the heat at one end of the metal and observe carefully here how the pins were falling. See, when I am applying the heat, observe carefully, the pins were falling. Why? Why the pins were falling here? See careful, and next pin also falling down. Why the pins were falling? Why the pins were falling here? When we apply the heat, see, when we apply the heat, the wax is melting due to the supply of heat. That's why the pins were falling down. Okay. When we supply the heat, it was make the wax to melt and pin is falling. Which end the pin were fallen first? The pin which is closer to the flame had fallen first. Why? Because the heat is supplying from one end to another end. So, the pins were falling. So, by this we can say the material which supply the heat to pass through it, those materials are called as the good conductors of heat. Okay. So, all metals have the conductivity of heat, but all metals do not have equal conductivity. Brass, aluminium, iron were made as utensils. We prefer those as utensils. Why? Due to the high conductivity of heat. And next one, here is an exception. Actually, all the metals are solid in state except mercury. Why? The mercury is a liquid metal. It is a liquid metal and it is an exception here. Okay, and next one is all the metals have the high density and high melting point. Okay, except here all metals are too hard, except here sodium and potassium are soft. They even be cut with knife. If we take iron, it has the high density. The 1 centimeter cube, it has 7.8 grams and it has the high melting point. We need 1535 degrees Celsius of heat to melt iron solid into iron liquid. Okay, that's why we can say the metals has the high melting point, high density, and they are hard in nature except mercury. Okay, and next one, let us move to the non-metals. Can you guess what is non-metals according to these properties of metals? See here, charcoal, potassium, sulfur, diamond, bromine and chlorine. Okay, what is non-metal? A material which do not has the characteristics of metals, means they were non-ductile, non-malleable, non-lustrous and they are the bad conductors of heat and electricity. Okay, thus type of materials we can call as non-metals. So let us see the properties to identify a material as non-metal. Okay, the material which show the dull surface, those materials are called as non-metal, non-lustrous metals. Okay, let us see here chalk piece. Is it shining? No, it is not shining. See, is it shining? No, so we can say the chalk piece is a non-lustrous material. Here another one is coal. See, carbon. Is it shining? No, it is not shining. So we can call this is also a non-lustrous materials. Here is a wooden stick. See, wooden stick and pencil and a bangle, wax. See, wax. Here candle. These are shining? No. So we can call these materials as non-lustrous materials. Okay. Next let us see another one is non-malleable materials. A material which cannot drawn into thin sheets without breaking. Those materials are called as non-malleable materials. We cannot make the materials into thin sheets or we cannot change those materials into different shapes without breaking. So we can call these type of materials as non-malleable materials. And next one is non-sonorous material. A material which do not produce sound, a deep sound, those materials are called as non-sonorous materials. Example here, see a stick. When I beat a stick with piece of chalk, see, does it making this sound? It make this sound, but it can't reach at a long distance. It cannot make a deep sound. So we can call such type of materials as non-sonorous materials. Okay, and next one is the conductivity. Actually, non-metals cannot conduct electricity. See, let us see example here. Again, we can show the circuit here and supply. I am closing this circuit with the help of wood. See, the bulb is glowing. Bulb is not glowing means here the wood is not supplying the electricity to pass through it and make the bulb glow. So these are the properties to identify a material is metal or non-metal. The material which show the properties of lustrous, sonorous, malleability, ductility, these are generally non-metals cannot show these type of properties. Okay. So finally, I thankful to our secretary sir, Ronald Rose sir, and my principal madam, Nagendramma madam, and my mentor teacher, Ramakottamma madam, and everyone to given me a wonderful opportunity. Thank you everyone.